Have you ever really stopped to think about your emotions? I mean, where do they actually come from? Not just what sets them off, but what's the deep, ancient source? Well, today, we're going to do something a little different. We're going on an archaeological dig, not into the ground, but deep into the layers of the human brain.
It's a huge question, right? It gets to the very core of who we are as people. Are our feelings just these fleeting reactions to what's happening around us? Or are they something much, much older, something that's been wired into our biology for millions of years?
And that is exactly our mission today. We're going to become archaeologists of the mind. And we've got a fantastic guide, the work of the pioneering neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp. We're going to journey down, layer by layer, from the newest parts of the brain that handle complex thought, all the way down to the most ancient primal sources of feeling. Okay, let's get our tools and dive in. So, first thing on any dig, you've got to understand the landscape. And the brain? Well, it isn't just one big blob. It's actually built in layers, kind of like geological strata you'd see in the side of a cliff, with the oldest, most fundamental stuff way down at the bottom. Panksepp's model gives us this amazing map with 3 nested levels. Way up top, at the tertiary level, you've got your cortex. That's the wrinkly gray matter that handles all our higher, complex thought. Below that, the secondary level is where basic learning and memory get sorted out. But we're digging deeper. We're going all the way down to the primary level, the ancient, instinctual emotions that fire up from the brainstem. This, right here, is where the whole story of our feelings begins. So here's the key takeaway. Our brain has 2 totally different ways of dealing with the world. You've got the cognitive processes happening in that new cortex that are all about details, analysis, and conscious thoughts. But the affective processes, wow, they are way older. They're the source of our core self. They generate those raw, unfiltered feelings that can wash over our entire brain. They are the foundation, and everything else is built right on top of them. All right, we've done it. We've reached the bedrock of our dig. And what we find down here are the primary process emotions. These are the ancient, hardwired circuits that we share with every single other mammal on this planet. They are, in a very real sense, the primal command systems for how to live and survive. Now, before we start unearthing these systems, a really quick but super important note. You're going to see these words like seeking, fear, rage in all caps, and that's on purpose. Panksepp did that because he wasn't just talking about the feeling of fear. He was talking about a specific, physical, measurable network of neurons in the brain. These aren't just ideas, they're actual physical systems.
And here they are, the magnificent 7 primal emotions. You've got seeking, rage, fear, lust, care, panic/grief, and yep, even play. Now for our tour today, we're going to take a closer look at 3 of the most powerful of these ancient artifacts buried deep inside all of us.
Let's start with what might be the most important one of all. This isn't just another emotion on the list. You can think of it as the very engine of life. It's the master circuit that gets us to engage with the world. This is the seeking system. You know, most of us have heard that dopamine is the pleasure chemical, but it turns out that's not quite right. The seeking system, which is fueled by dopamine, isn't about the pleasure of getting the reward. It's about the anticipation of it. It's that feeling of curiosity, of interest, that buzzing, eager expectation that drives you to explore, to learn something new, to look for food or find a partner. It's the thrill of the hunt, not the feast itself. And get this, we can actually hear the seeking system in action. Rats, it turns out, make these high-frequency chirps when they're excited or happy. It's basically rat laughter. And what the research shows is amazing. Their joyful chirps don't go up when they get the treat. They skyrocket when they're waiting for it, when they're anticipating it. That's the seeking system buzzing with pure, enthusiastic energy. Okay, so digging right next to that powerful seeking system, we find 2 other really ancient alarm bells. These are circuits that were absolutely essential for survival and, just as importantly, for forming the social bonds that kept our ancestors alive. The fear system, well, it doesn't need much of an introduction, does it? We all know this one. It's a deeply ancient survival circuit buried way down in the brain. And when it gets triggered, it unleashes that universal, heart-pounding feeling of dread and kicks in our instinct to either freeze on the spot or run for our lives. It's a simple, brutal, and incredibly effective system designed for one thing: keeping us alive. But just as critical for a social creature like us is the panic/grief system. This circuit is the very source of our social bonds. It's the reason a baby cries for its mother, and it's the cause of that profound, physical, gut-wrenching pain we feel when we're separated from the people we love. It's the internal alarm that screams, "You are alone, and being alone is dangerous." Now, Panksepp discovered that this system works through the brain's own natural opioids, and this led him to a pretty startling conclusion. He said social bonding is an addictive phenomenon. Think about that. The comfort and warmth of being with people you love activates the exact same brain chemistry as opioid drugs. This is why connection feels so good, and it's why loneliness and heartbreak can be so physically painful. It's a form of withdrawal. And you can see this in the most beautiful, simple way in other animals. Take a baby chick that's been separated from its mom. It'll chirp and cry out in distress. But if you gently cup it in your warm hands, something amazing happens. It almost instantly stops crying. It calms down and closes its eyes. That feeling of contentment, that comfort, is its brain's opioid system being soothed by simple contact. It's a primal comfort we all share.
Okay, so we've unearthed these incredible ancient systems. Let's zoom back out now and see how these primal forces are operating inside our modern human brains, right here, right now.
So what happens inside your head when these powerful feelings kick in? Well, PET scans give us a crystal clear picture. During intense emotions like deep sadness or terror, those deep, ancient, subcortical parts of our brain just light up like a Christmas tree. There's massive arousal. And the higher thinking part, the cortex, it actually goes quiet. It gets inhibited. In the grip of a powerful feeling, our ancient brain literally takes the wheel. And this brings us to the final and maybe the most profound question of our entire dig. We've seen these emotional systems are ancient, we've seen they're powerful, but do they actually depend on our higher conscious thinking mind to even exist? Or are they something even more fundamental than thought itself? The ultimate proof here is as powerful as it is tragic. The neuroscientist Bjorn Merker studied the case of an anencephalic child, a child born without a cortex, without any of the higher thinking parts of the brain. And yet, this child could still laugh. They could show pure, raw, unfiltered expressions of joy. This is the final, undeniable proof. Our most basic core emotions are not created by our thoughts. They are generated from the oldest part of our brain, the pure, raw experience of feeling itself. So we end our dig here with this one last thought. We live in a world that absolutely worships logic and reason and thinking things through. But the evidence from the archaeology of the mind is just undeniable. Our deepest, core feelings come from brain systems that are millions of years older than the parts of our brain that can even form a logical thought. They are a form of ancient wisdom encoded into our very being. And so that leaves us with a really provocative question to carry with us. If our feelings are older than our thoughts, how might our lives change if we truly learned how to listen to them?